Okay, we're in a hall of mirrors, and we're gonna have to face our doppelganger in a minute, and everyone else faces theirs as well. And so this is actually the toughest fight in the game, um, but we'll see what happens. And we are pretty much right next to the last scene of the game, or at least the actual last scene that we can engage in any action in the game, I should say. And I'm not sure why Rikishi doesn't come in at all, actually. If he's just staying back to guard the gate, maybe I missed it. Maybe I flipped through the dialogue too quickly. As you can see, our characters are morphing. We don't actually have time to heal, which is kind of unfortunate, but I don't think we can actually die, if I recall correctly. And it gives you a little scene of sprites, and so here's a sort of ugly version of us. And it's really hard to land a blow on this guy. As you can see, it's not working too well. Normally, after you get some blood in there, the guy's stats go down pretty quickly. As you can see, our health is getting pretty low. We're not making great progress against this guy. And, whoa, but who's that? A thief, Harami, I believe. And he'll take care of him. And if you don't help out the thief, I believe you actually have to face this guy yourself, which is next to impossible. So, pretty good idea to give the thief some meat in the bazaar. And he actually gives you some healing pills, though you don't really need them from what I recall. Kind of interesting that Manu's counterpart is a winged monkey, sort of the homage to the Wizard of Oz. Seems like the leopard man slash woman character doesn't seem much different, whereas there's at least a blue lion tor and a green. We are overwhelmed by our sense of danger here. So he calls us a pawn. This is the demon wizard. Well, we didn't figure that out. He stole the drum and the spear. Really, no one's been telling that to us the whole game, but nevertheless. And he says, so his enemy Rikishi is in disgrace, and his minions will soon overrun the earth through war somehow. Okay, so it's time for us to die, I guess, according to him. I had the game saved back there, just in case. And I think we actually get our stamina doesn't come back at all. I'm not sure if we actually beat the guy. Yeah, it looks like he's going down pretty quickly. Alright, so we made pretty quick work of that thing. So down he goes. Apologize, it's taking a couple seconds. And it kind of reminds you of the gargoyle from the last game. And this guy is taking a while. It's taking a while to load that. See if we can try to block that. I'm not sure exactly what we're supposed to do. And it looks like we're preparing ourselves. There we go. I think we can just push this thing over if I'm not mistaken. There we go. And we try to cross. And this is kind of the thing we heard about in, I believe, the prophecy, that they told us that stone would come alive and grab our foot. And this is what's happened. I don't think we can move now. But how do we finish him off? If we were not a paladin, we would you get the Spear of Death from Yusufu beforehand at the end of that mishapped summit, and but since we are Paladin, we actually have the sword to take this guy out with, and that pretty much destroys him. And I believe we use our magic shield to put this. I'm not sure exactly what this said. Something about. I think he was taunting us. Said something about Paladin. I'm not sure if that was praise about us actually really reaching the final stages of being a Paladin, or if it was just. And there's immediate presence of danger. So all our friends are here. And Manu's very happy. And Rakesh welcomes us back. And pretty much everybody does. And they're back in their own world. And they're all safe, thanks to us again. And thanks to this very linear game. Okay. Alright. And now they're going to have peace. And she says she is marrying Yusufu, despite the fact we married her. So that was what I was talking about beforehand. It's kind of weird, but I guess even our romantic kiss just wasn't enough to seal the deal. And she's marrying Yusufu, which is probably for the best. We actually don't get a chance to marry her in Quest for Glory 5 when you can marry all those other women from your past, or have a chance to marry one of the other women from your past. And we are being ripped away, Rakesh. And this is, if you can't guess, Adavis, and this is the Dark Master. And I guess that is the all for this Let's Play, pretty much. As you can see, that's why I didn't like the game that much. I think the end really moves very quickly. Next game is called Shadows of Darkness. It just, once the plot's set in motion, you just pretty much go through. And I mean, there's some things to explore, some interesting to do on your own, especially the first few times. It's pretty nice that we got up to that point. We never got the magic shield, unfortunately, but it's not all that important. Anyway, we have a little bit of time left. So, as you can see, it was pretty much just a very straight shot, not that much to explore. It looked deceptively more complicated, or it looked more complicated than it really really is. And like I said, I just, some of it's being disappointment of the game, not being as interesting as it could be with Tarna, with just the large map they have, with the possibility of all these tribes and all these different groups, and just pretty much very straightforward. A lot of tedious things like training for the initiation ceremonies and the like. Like I said, the Thieves game's very much the same. It's just that he steals the drum and steals the spear. It's really the huge difference, or the significant difference there. Magic user gets a magic staff, which I don't think you can even take on to Quest for Glory 4. He can do some other spells, and he does a contest with a shaman at the Leopardman village. One thing I didn't mention, actually, if you don't train for the initiation, the computer will just take over for you, and you pretty much automatically lose on the bridge, and I think even the spear throwing area. So you do have to make sure you do that. But in any event, we got 456. I don't know if it's out of 500. That's actually kind of weak if we missed some things, but I think a lot of it is probably dialogue that we just didn't go through, just to expedite it. I think this has only gone about 33, 34 videos, so you can see, versus Late Blights and her Crabbiness's video on Quest for Glory 4, which I definitely recommend you watch if you have not done so already after this one. They have about 60 or maybe even 70 videos, so you can see this is a much shorter one. Some of it's because they've did all the dialogue and put in the funny voices and had to pause every once in a while to get in the right character. But I think a lot of it's just because this game is shorter, and it's unfortunate. So anyway, the good games were pretty much taken for Quest for Glory, and probably for the best, since I think they did a better job, and some other people have done a better job on these things. But I really enjoyed it. I think I'm going to have a very special what we've learned / recap if anyone is interested afterwards. So discussing maybe some other things I'll do with this. Requesting some feedback and maybe just going over a few aspects of creating this Let's Play. Anyway, I had a good time making it. I apologize that it probably wasn't of the best quality. I know there's some better ones out there. I know there's only so many, a limited number of people who have watched it. Hopefully over time people will look for it and be interested in watching this. But I'll go into some more details in my recap, what we've learned sort of video afterwards. And I do appreciate everyone who's visited. I watched it. I hope people have enjoyed it. So some people have, at least. I'd love to hear any comments or feedback about it. And thanks for watching. So that is Quest for Glory 3, Let's Play by Sierra Games Scott. Thanks again, and I'll hopefully see you in another Let's Play. Take care.